and with great confidence in our caucus, I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress.
So that was Nancy Pelosi just moments ago. She is still speaking right now, but that's the big news to take away. She's announcing that she is not going to seek that re-election. She's 19 years as head of the Democratic caucus. Welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch here with you. She says that she's going to stay in Congress. Now, when I say she's not seeking re-election, she's not going to seek re-election to run the party, at least publicly. She said she's staying on as a backbencher so she can guide. Looks like the leadership that they're looking at is probably going to be Hakeem Jeffries, is what it looks like. She's also making sure that Adam Schiff is, according to the rumor mill and the speculation, some of the reporters who are there, that he's happy and he's taken care of so he doesn't challenge Jeffries. Can I just point out that this is how Democrats do things differently than Republicans? Republicans are like, sink or swim. Bye. Whereas Democrats make sure all their little pets are taken care of so no one challenges another and they don't mess stuff up. I mean, I think there's a couple of different ways to look at that. I think that you have to be pretty beta in order to kind of take something like that. The part of me believes that, but the other side, I think, is it if you're going for a common strategy, if you have a common strategy and you're going towards a common goal? They look at it as a means to an end, right? Republicans look at it very differently. And I also think in some ways it's how people are hardwired. They're just different. And what makes a Republican and a Democrat different from one another. But that is how they're making sure that Adam Schiff doesn't start getting wily, doesn't try to, kick and challenge Hakeem Jeffries. So she's making sure that he's taken care of. And the Politico, though, did say that it looked like one of them was going to run for the Senate seat out there. Whether it's Schiff or Jeffries, I don't know. But that's kind of what they're speculating. Very interesting. They said that she spent the last 24 hours, according to a couple of different reports, helping to clear the runway for Jeffries, making sure that no one's going to challenge him. This was her pick. She wanted to make that known. This was her selection. This is how she wants it. An orderly, transition, change of power within the caucus. And she's staying because one insider told, I can't say some of this quote. There's Puck News, Politico, and a couple of others. They said that this was apparently someone within her inner circle on the Hill. They said, quote, given that she didn't lose the election and the majority of her caucus is still in need of her leadership, obsessively in need of her leadership was how they said it, she's decided to stay. Plus, she can still raise a blank ton of money unlike anyone else in that caucus, end quote. That is true. She does raise a lot of money. You know who else I think is kind of the equivalent of that in the House side? Or in the Republican side of the House is Ann Wagner out of Missouri. I was there when she first got into her seat. I don't think it's congressional. I don't think it's district. What was it? District 2? I can't remember. Because it's been redrawn after that. Carnahan lost his 3rd congressional district, which was what I used to be in before they redrew those lines. She raises a lot of money. Of course, it requires a lot of travel. You got to do a lot of meet and greets, all this stuff. But Nancy Pelosi raises a lot of money, like Mitch McConnell does. One of the reasons that Mitch McConnell, not only is he, obviously running leadership in the Senate, he raises a lot of money. And from the money that he raises, he raises money for the Senate Leadership Fund. He raises money for his campaigns. He raises money for other people. But he raises money and then gives it to other candidates. And that's what Pelosi does too. And that's kind of expected of any leadership, be it in the House or Senate. But you got to be a moneymaker. I mean, when I had someone I know who's in the House of Representatives was explaining to me, because I had asked, I said, I don't understand why, because their particular district was tilt purple, and it was a hard fought race. But they it was by the percentage, the margin of victory that they had, that their fees apparently were reconsidered and adjusted. That just blows my mind, because you think, well, wouldn't you need to be able to keep more of the money that you raised for next time around? But what it does is it goes into those house groups, and those house groups then turn around and they donate it to different. They put it into different candidates and try to keep their majority. But it is interesting. I'm just fascinated with how they take care of each other. I don't want to really say that as a compliment, but I do think that the Republican Party needs some of that. But the Republican Party, I think this is kind of the difference between the right and the left. We understand the strategy, but we will still throw it under the bus if it means, oh no, we're going to go advance ourselves. And I think that just has to do with the difference between how right and left think. The left are more willing, and in fact, they feel in many instances more secure being part of a hive mind operation, whereas the right does not feel that way. They want to be individual. I get it. It's the right is not as good as being team players as the left. And I think that when people say, oh, well, why are they able to keep this together? That has to do with leadership. No, I also think it has to do with your psychological makeup. There's something that ideology, there's a reason why people go to different ideologies. And I think a lot of it has to do with that psychological makeup. Some people just don't want to be free. Some people want to be told by leadership what to do, who to support, when to move, when to not. And then you look on the right, and I'll be damned, every day it's a slap fight in the cloakroom, practically. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but good grief. If they had cameras, it'd be C-SPAN does. I think C-SPAN is one of the best reality shows ever. But can you imagine if they had cameras, not just on the floor, but whenever they left? Like following them, going to get their stuff in the cloakroom, going out, going on the steps, going to wherever they're going to have dinner. Just too funny in a scary way. So she's still going to be there, but she's not seeking leadership. So she's leaving, but not really.